My name is Phaik Yeong, and I'm working at the Thailand Wellcome Trust Major Overseas Program. So I'm going to tell a story of our puppet theatre. I'm going to say how we arrived at this idea, given the complexities of antimicrobial resistance. So we told our theatre company, whom we've worked with before, that we wanted a performance. The theme is AMR. And you explain to them what AMR is and why it's so important. They asked us a series of questions. First, related to the target audience, they asked us, healthcare professionals or lay people? We say both. Scientific or non-scientific? Both. Urban or rural? Both. Adult or children? Both. Okay, children. High school or primary school? Both. You get the idea, right? We wanted to target everyone. And, how about the location? Everywhere? So we wanted to go to local theatres, schools, universities, clinics, hospitals, villages, including the ones on the border, particularly the Thai-Burmese border. Well, we've got a problem here, haven't we? Because some people speak Thai, and a lot of people in hill tribes and migrants, they don't. They speak their own language. Yes, language is a problem. So after 6 months of residency, puppet making, and rehearsals, they came up with this magical, colorful, the most visually stunning show. The puppets were life-size, bespoke, and manipulated by really, really skillful puppeteers. The music and other sound effects was not only nice to listen to, but the musician was mesmerizing. There was only one musician. She had a tiny xylophone, a small drum, an iPad, and an aluminium foil, and a loudspeaker. She herself was also very small. She sat in a small corner and made music with all her limbs. So on the left hand, and she was making thunder. On the left hand, she was vibrating the aluminium foil into a loudspeaker, and on her right finger, poking furiously at her iPad, and using one of her feet to kick the drum kit. So she was very mobile, and she could fit all her instruments in a little box and travel with the rest of the team. In fact, the whole show was packed into a few boxes. The theatre company traveled to performance locations with a tent, their puppets, balloons, and other colorful props. So we could bring the show to the community instead of waiting for the community to come to us. And people are so curious. The puppets drew people out, whoever they are. Or when the children, there was no need to ask them to come out and sit down and be quiet and watch the show. They were all quiet once the puppets came out and the music started. They were mesmerized. You can see older children telling and narrating some of the stories to the younger ones, like, oh, look at that woman with the purple hair. She's got fever now she's coughing. Because the show, because it was non-verbal, instead of using words, they use simple acts and sounds. So it's a cough, and it's a fever. It's a fever in any language, not something else on your forehead. It's very quite obvious to make the message quite clear. And we know from our own qualitative work in Thailand, we did interviews with patients, doctors, community members, and others, that many actors are involved in perpetuating the problem of AMR. It could be the doctor pressured to prescribe by a patient, a shop owner who sells antibiotics in tiny little packets in his cafe, unlicensed manufacturers who make fake or substandard products, or farmers who use antibiotics by the buckets in their chicken farms. So we had to cast the net really wide, hence the mobile and non-verbal nature of the show. Of course, because of these complexities, there were many challenges. It takes another half an hour to talk about challenges, which I'm not going to. So because of many target audiences. And the second is that AMR is so complex. it's difficult to explain, and the consequences are not immediate and not physically apparent. So this was our pilot project, ran over a few months, recently completed. We're currently evaluating it. We're also conducting further interviews on AMR so that we can improve our activities in the future. So that's my story.